I am so hyped for our next guest because he is the world's strongest man. We grew up watching this former WWE champion. He is now with AEW and hasn't stopped with the heavy lifting. I'm so excited to introduce the legendary Mark Henry. Mark, welcome to the show. How's life been since joining AEW?
Man, life is great, man. I can't complain at all. I got a lot going on, but um, heavy is the head that wears the crown.
I like that, Mark. You were with the other company for such a long time. Was it kind of a big change for you to go to AEW?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't a big change at all. It's at the end of the day, it's still pro wrestling. My expertise and understanding of it is pretty damn high. I spent a lot of time in the production office, as well as the locker room, as well as the ring. So I got to understand the business of pro wrestling and how to make sure that things run smoothly, and teaching professionalism and showing people that work ethic and um, the ability to have different opinions and coming up with a solution rather than dwell on the problem um, is been like a godsend for me. So that being said, AEW is a young company, and they needed that, and I'm happy to fulfill any need that needs it.
Yeah, Mark, you know how the business works. You know how to run a business, and you know how to find the talent. That's kind of the biggest thing. That when I look at your resume, I see all these superstars that you found as a talent scout, and I think you're doing that for AEW. You found wrestlers like Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, Gil, and Braun Strowman and Mark Corbin. But I guess for you, when did you realize that you were good at finding talent and being a scout?
You know what? It just happens. You look at people like Brian Danielson. I didn't have anything to do with his training, his development, but I recognize good when I see it. And he's one that I pushed him to sign, and he's going to end up being a Hall of Famer for them. So going forward, when I see people, I know that they'll be good. They just need the opportunity, and they need to come into the company and work like they don't have talent.
Having guys like Brian Danielson, CM Punk, John Moxley, and the Young Bucks, and some of these guys as the face of the company, how big is it for AEW?
It's awesome. You always need stars, but you need stars that's willing to give and to make the people of the future, better. Um, and that's what AEW has. A bunch of unbelievable talent that doesn't mind getting their hands dirty and are not going to cry and moan when stuff don't go their way. They want to make sure that the company um, works for the best. So AEW is a good place to be.
Mark, you guys are making your way out to the West Coast for the first time. What should Southern California pro wrestling fans expect from AEW the first week of June? And why do you feel like AEW is growing at a rapid pace?
Nothing but the best. They shouldn't expect anything but the best. The best experience that you've had in an arena watching wrestling. And I say that because it's like a party. It's like going to a concert. You get pro wrestling. You get the energy from the crowd is unrivaled. I can't even explain to you uh, how impressive I feel that the crowd appeal is. Um, it's worth it's worth the price of admission just because you get to interact with the people. Um, Anybody that's got a ticket that watches this program, call in, write, send messages, and see if I'm embellishing on what I'm saying. It's unreal.
Mark, we need some story time with you now. I recently heard a story from The Undertaker that said that you guys were in Tokyo and that there was a car in your bus's way, and that you said, "I got this," and you went out there and that you moved the car. How big was the car, and was it tough to move?
That was in the UK.
Oh, in the UK.
That was Manchester, England. Um, like the streets are pretty narrow, and that whole story um, is 100% true. The car parked kind of at an angle, so you couldn't get down the street. At least a car could, but not a bus. And I lifted cars before. It was probably like a mid-sized sedan, Ford Taurus looking like car, and I just was able to squat it, deadlift it, and move it over. And I was really, really strong back then. Like there were things that I say it kind of nonchalantly, but most elite strong men would be able to do that.
How much does a car like that weigh? Any idea?
About 4,000 pounds.
Wow.
But you're only lifting about the trunk part of the car. You'll probably only lift about 700 pounds of it.
Okay, it's a whole strategy to it.
There's a lot of people that can deadlift 700 pounds.
Mm. Mark,
we're not one of them.
No, we're definitely not us too. Mark, how about one of your best stories as a talent scout? We've got a couple already from you, but anything that kind of just pops out or stands out that you're not gonna forget about how you found that person or where you were when you found that person?
You know what? Braun Strowman was a strong man, and I saw him at a Strongman Nationals in Los Angeles, and he just had so much personality. Anytime that he got ready to perform, he was like, "Are y'all awake? Come on now, get close. You don't want to miss it." Like that's pro wrestling. And I knew that he would be good at pro wrestling just on the simple fact that he was not shy. He garnered the attention of everybody around, and all he needed was to be taught how. And he was not ready. He said, "Man, I want to win the world championship." I said, "All right, man, I'm not a dream killer." But there was this couple of guys, Thor Bjornsson and golly, Zadruna Zavickas. It's about 5 of those guys that I knew that were going to hover around the top 3, top 5, and it would be, man, like if you were going to beat them, you would be able to beat them by now. And I didn't want to be the killjoy, so I just said, "Look, here's my number. When you get the itch, let me know." And it took 2 years, but he did finally call. And he said, can you still get me into wrestling? I was like, "Yes, I can." And the rest was history.
And he became a world champion also. So
Yeah.
there you go. Mark,
not everybody, but almost everybody that I've scouted became world champion.
Wow.
You have an eye for talent. Mark, I don't know how much you keep up with the other company, but what did you make of the Sasha Banks and Naomi walkout rumors?
To me, all of it is just rumors. I don't know all the facts. Like what I said about it on Busted Open, the show that I'm on Sirius XM, was there was not enough information that was out for me to make a concrete, factual analysis, and that I felt like it was wrong to say somebody is unprofessional or without everybody knowing what the facts were. Not to mention the statement that came out said that they left during the show. And now it's being said that they, over an hour or 2 hours, they had left the show before they started. So I don't know what's real or what's fact. And I'm speculating like everybody else. I think that the whole situation should have been handled differently on both sides.
Mark, what's your favorite nickname? Is it the world's strongest man or sexual chocolate?
You giggled like a little girl when you said that. Nicknames didn't define me. Being the world's strongest man was not a nickname. It was what I was. It was who I was. Like there's no fictional account of me being the strongest human ever born. To say you were number one, to say you were the best on earth at something, is, I realize is a great accomplishment, and I don't trivialize it. I love the fact that I have a moniker or something that's been connected to me that says I was somebody special. But, my mom used to tell me that every day.
That's how, hey, moms always are the ones that bring out the smiles in us. Last one for me, Mark. Who is going to be the next inductee into the Hall of Pain?
This sandwich that I'm about to go get.
Because there's somebody on this show that says that you don't have it anymore, and it wasn't me. So I think somebody wants to be put in the Hall of Pain, and it's not me.
In Texas, in Texas, we beat up the instigators.
There you go, Mark.
Doing all the talking, I ain't hear nobody else say nothing. I only heard you.
I like that, Mark. I'm gonna start saying that mantra there. But Mark, are we done seeing you in the ring? Are you coming back at an AEW show? What's gonna happen for your career?
I have no intentions on wrestling.
Okay, you heard it.
Hey, it was a beautiful career, Mark. What you're doing right now outside of the ring is really amazing, and you're bringing all this talent for AEW. We can't wait to keep on watching it. June 1st, AEW will be at the Forum in Los Angeles. First time they make their way out all the way to the West Coast. He is a legend in the wrestling business. Mark Henry, thank you so much for joining. Hey, compas on the beat. Compas means buddy in Spanish. So you're a compa of us. We're compas.
Awesome. I'll take it.
I appreciate it, Mark. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, appreciate y'all, man.